Kenya was the first country area so that this
So Faith Mumo is from Akweli County. Excuse me. Yep.
Youth of Africa is here today. And we are
young people of Africa. What an amazing moment. It is one that I always dream of as an African, because I know that this is the moment in which hope is born and born again in a world that is in despair. Today we witness the force of good for the world. Why does UNDP, Your Excellency, care about youth in Africa? Why did we step out as the entity that would give legs to this brilliant idea that President Kagame had in 2012? It is because today we're witnessing African young people who are the most connected youth, the most connected generation of Africa's history, in Africa's history. That means something. It means that today we have a generation that will propel this continent to the stage, to the global stage of transformation. So we care about African youth. We know that at the same time, this youth will need to be invested in, and we need to trust them. And Your Excellency, this moment is about building trust. The saying goes that where there is no vision, the people perish. I want to thank you, President Ruto, for your vision, for not only having a vision about how to invest in a borderless Africa by investing in our youth, but also for wanting to take this to action. Vision must go to action. I also want to thank President Kagame for being the one who actually planted this seed in 2012, represented here by Honorable Minister Paula, who is working with us on another initiative, which is an expression of UNDP's belief in investing in youth. This is an initiative we call Timbuktu. Honorable Minister, you referenced Timbuktu in your introduction. From Africa's past to its future. Here we want to bet on our young people by mobilizing a $1 billion fund to power Africa's startup revolution. In Kenya, there will be a hub on green tech, and I want to thank the Kenyan government for accepting to host one of the 8 Pan-African hubs that we want to launch. coming soon, Timbuktu will be launched in Davos and on the continent of Africa in the new year. Look out for it. It is our way of saying all this innovation that you will be witnessing here need financing, but they also need ecosystem support. They need nurturing, they need mentorship, they need capacity, and all of us here, partners, need to invest in making sure this happens. So UNDP has been responsible for bringing at least 400 youth to Youth Connekt Nairobi. I want to invite all other partners to ensure that we sponsor young people from around the continent for every single Youth Connekt Summit that we have. Because if they're not in the room, we don't have the energy, we don't have the hope. And many of them cannot get here on their own. So I'm giving here a call to action to make sure you are putting forward the resources to make sure African youths connect.
Can be able to achieve a free Africa where all Africans can be able to trade between ourselves as African, and also be able to maintain stability within ourselves and be able to produce for ourselves before we go outside. We are almost there. Thank you.
And I would like to challenge our youth from Africa. Please, take your rightful place in this continent. We want to urge you to take leadership in all spheres of influence, not just in matters of innovation, not just in the tech space. We want you to be the leaders in business. We want you to be the leaders in sports. We want you to be the leaders in the creative economy. And we also want you to take leadership in the political management of your respective countries, because you have what it takes, you have the knowledge, you have the energy, you have the passion, and you are the people we need to put Africa in the world map.
Let me speak about enterprise development, the future of Africa's borderless commerce. And I'm happy I'm speaking this when my brother Wamkele is sitting here, our Secretary General for ACFTA. Entrepreneurship is the biggest creator of value and opportunity in the world. With their increasing levels of education and skills, Africa's youth can drive economic growth by embracing entrepreneurship. African governments like Kenya have to make supporting MSMEs a key priority, pairing financial support with advisory services. We must foster a conducive environment for entrepreneurship by providing young people with access to capital, mentorship, and opportunities to transform their ideas into thriving cross-border businesses. This can be achieved by simplifying business regulations, facilitating access to finance, and promoting regional economic integration. Kenya is championing entrepreneurship by creating an enabling environment for young people to start their own business. We have facilitated access to finance for young people through affirmative action funds, namely the Hustler Fund, Youth Enterprise Fund, WESO Fund, Women Enterprise Fund, and National Government Affirmative Action Fund. The Hustler Fund, for example, has benefited 21.7 million Kenyans across Kenya. Let me also say, we are lowering access and we are expanding new opportunities so that we can escalate this to the next level of entrepreneurs. Let me also confirm, to further boost economic integration, Kenya fully supports the establishment of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which seeks to create a borderless market for African entrepreneurs and businesses. As I told you, Kenya was the first country to deposit instruments of ratification of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And we have been its greatest champions because we believe that we need to eliminate processes of visa requirement for African countries as we strive to ensure the attainment of Africa's borderless commerce. I am very persuaded, and we all know what borderless countries have done. Look, the people who taught us about visas, because we didn't have visas, our good brothers from Europe came and taught us about visas. And I addressed the European Parliament a few weeks ago. A population of 450 million people, 27 countries. Today, the visas they told us, or they taught us, they themselves have abolished visas in 27 countries. They today are borderless. They are visaless. 450 million people. Explain to me why we should continue to have visas in our continent when those who taught us about visas have abandoned them. But even as we do this, I like what the second lady said. We must also mind about the mental, the sexual, the reproductive health of the young people of our continent, because they are our children. The total well-being of our youth is paramount for the attainment of our socio-economic aspirations. In this regard, we must invest in youth-friendly healthcare services, promotion of preventive measures, and address the vulnerabilities that exist around mental health, around sexual health, and around reproductive health. By expanding access to mental health services, providing comprehensive sexual education, and promoting gender equality in healthcare, among other initiatives, we will improve the complete wellness of our youth, allowing them the energy and freedom to focus on socio-economic development. I wish to thank the Republic of Rwanda and my brother, President Paul Kagame, for conceiving the Youth Connekt platform and for hosting 4 of the 5 editions of the summit. I echo the words of my brother, President Kagame, during the 5th edition in Kigali in October last year. The youth of Africa are the leaders of today, he said. They are the driving force behind our continent's transformation, the innovators who are reimagining our industries, the entrepreneurs who are creating jobs, and the activists who are advocating for a better future. End of quote. I join President Kagame in affirming the game-changing capacity of the African youth. This 6th edition of the Youth Connekt Africa Summit is premised on 7 key focus areas. I wish to briefly delve into each one of them. On sustainable green livelihoods, climate adaptation, and resilience. Our planet is in a crisis, and Africa is unfortunately bearing the brunt of the effects of climate change. This means that the continent must lead in the development of sustainable solutions, and that is what we crafted at the Africa Climate Summit here in September. The youth of Africa must become champions of environmental stewardship, fostering innovative practices that protect our planet while ensuring sustainable livelihoods for future generations. They must get into renewable energy, promoting sustainable agriculture, and developing climate-resilient infrastructure. This issue will define our future, and the young people of Africa cannot be on the margins of this very important conversation. In September this year, the governments of Kenya and the African Union co-hosted the inaugural Africa Climate Summit to discuss African-led sustainable solutions to global climate challenges under the theme, Driving Green Growth and Climate Finance Solutions for Africa and the World. This conference culminated in the Nairobi Declaration, an 11-point call to action with a rallying call to overhaul the global financial system to facilitate climate action financing. Kenya has developed a national climate change adaptation strategy, which is bolstering the country's resilience against the impacts of global warming. Now we are told it's no longer global warming, it's global boiling. Perhaps our key initiative is the 15 billion tree restoration project that will increase Kenya's forest cover from 12% to 30% by 2032. We have recruited a 4,000-strong Youth Green Army to support this program initially. We are escalating this to a national 1 million Youth Green Army for climate adaptation, a movement that must spread across the whole of Africa. Africa has a rich heritage of statesmen. Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, Jomo Kenyatta, Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, and I could go on. Leaders who decades ago foresaw the unstoppable power of a united Africa. We must rekindle this dream because now more than ever, we are in a position to make it a reality. You are now the custodians of this dream, this idea envisaged by our forefathers. With the technology available to us today, it is very possible to build one African market. It is possible for an idea to rise in Nairobi, arrive in Lagos by midday, and Cape Town by sundown, and vice versa. It is possible to develop, respect, and appreciate our various cultures through social media. We can exchange ideas and learn from each other every day. This is what our forefathers wanted for us. Innovation is critical to achieving our development goals. To grow fast, we must deliberately focus on innovation to create fresh opportunities through the creation of new products, models, and partnerships. Africa's youth must drive this digital revolution. We must not be afraid of new ideas, especially when they are big. We must not hide our ideas because we do not know how to resource them. Kenya is a renowned trailblazer in innovation. We recently launched the first green digital innovation hub to accelerate new ideas and products. The Green Digital Innovation Hub targets foundational sectors such as agriculture, information and communication technologies, and energy, incorporating cutting-edge technology like automation, AI, sensor networks, cyber and IT security, cloud computing, and smart cities. The hub anticipates playing a pivotal role in leading the digital and green transition in Kenya and in our region. The global job market is increasingly shifting towards virtual and technology-driven roles, necessitating an alignment of our education system with this reality. To this end, the Ministry of Education is collaborating with global tech giant Google the Ministry of ICT and the digital economy in launching a comprehensive coding program in primary and secondary schools in Kenya nationwide. Google has generously offered to create a job pipeline for program participants, providing access to digital gigs with earning potential of up to US $3,000 per month. In fact, I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that in the space of creating jobs, I am a great believer that the way to derive value out of the 650 billion shillings we spend in our education and training every year is to create opportunities and pathways where young people can monetize their talent, their knowledge, their education in different ways. It is the reason we have intentional, deliberate programs on how to create jobs. The trouble I run into sometimes is that there are people who are used to traditional jobs. They believe that a job is when you have a tie, you've gone to an office, and you have a boss sitting somewhere. They cannot fathom that you can be in a t-shirt, in your home, in your house, and you are working. I believe this change is coming because the old Africa, the one that was defined and defined itself by challenges, the one that glorified its problems and sought external solutions, that Africa is fading away. We are in a new process of creating a new Africa, one that is founded on a rock-solid belief in our own capacity, that is driven by our relentless pursuit of progress, and that is committed to developing solutions to obliterate the challenges that we all face. At the heart of this revitalization sits the most talented, innovative, and dynamic generation of Africans there has ever lived. A wireless generation, a borderless generation, and more importantly, a relentless generation that I see in front of me. I came here to interact with this remarkable group, to engage and listen to you all. We are, in this moment, living in an Africa where the only thing that matters is the creation of opportunity. This is the agenda. This is our objective. This is the conversation. The youth are at the center of this moment, this agenda, and at the center of this conversation. I invite you to believe, like I do, that Africa is changing, and to work hard to make sure that you participate in the definition and exploitation of opportunities that comes with this change. I invite you to focus your energies on the creation of opportunity, the identification of value, and the pursuit of prosperity. I invite you to stare down the challenges of today with your intelligence, creativity, and capacity to innovate. I invite you to play a leading role in the transformation of Africa, to ensure your voice is heard, your effort is counted, and participation assured. As we gather for this 6th summit dubbed Youth Innovating a Borderless African Renaissance, I am convinced that we are at the dawn of a new Africa where innovation will cross boundaries, where creativity will flourish without constraints, and where the dreams of our young people will take root.